the Castigo 44 revolvers. These revolvers were added with the Sangres character pack, and it comes in both an Akimbo and a single version. Right now you're looking at the Akimbo. So let's take a look at the stats. I'll be showing both of them. For the Akimbo, you have a magazine of 12, total ammo of 108, rate of fire 361, damage 189, accuracy 84, stability of 4, concealment of 29, threat of 24, and reload time of 3.5. And here are the base stats to the right. Not too much different. I do have the ammo skill for the Akimbos, but actually right now the weapons just came out, and for whatever reason they aren't taking the pistol skills in Fugitive, so even though I do have pistol skills, it's mostly for my secondary. These Akimbos right now were bugged. They won't have any of the skills. But that's discussion for another time. Anyway, for the single revolver, it has a magazine of 6, total ammo of 54, rate of fire of 361, damage of 189, accuracy of 92, stability of 12, concealment of 29, threat of 24, and reload time of 2. Now for the available mods on this weapon, there are 3 unique mods: the Diablo barrel, the Carnival grip, and the Cruise grip. And the way I've actually modded this gun, as well as the Akimbo version, is just with a concealment boost. I don't have any of the mods on it because, personally, I don't really like the way it looks with mods. Like, it looks okay with that barrel and that grip. That's a really ugly grip, but yeah, overall, this is how it should be. This is beauty. This is perfection. So, let's take a look at this gun and some gameplay. The Castigo 44 revolver. Not much to say about this bad boy. Probably what most people are interested in is how this revolver compares to the Bronco, since they're both very similar. And while they do share a lot of characteristics together, I believe the Castigo is better than the Bronco for a few reasons. Firstly, the pistol itself is a very strong weapon. As a single secondary, it's your pocket sniper. A small gun, a lot of concealment, but a lot of damage and accuracy as well. You won't take very many shots to kill enemies on one down, maybe like 2 or 3. And they're also great for specials with their raw power. The revolver also has some pretty damn good ammo efficiency. You know, the ammo pull and pickup is nothing you need to worry about. They're both decent enough where the ammo is never an issue, at least for me. And the strongest aspect of the revolvers, at least in my opinion, is that you don't need to use any of the Fugitive pistol skills to make them useful. You know, if you were to use something like the M9 or the 1911, or what are they? Bernetti 9 cross skill? Whatever. You'd probably have to worry about the extra damage or reload or accuracy or something like that. But with the revolvers, they're perfectly fine being taken along with nearly any build you're using. Now, the main difference between the Castigo and the Bronco is just the modability. And what I mean by that is the Bronco has a lot of mods that it can equip, which can dramatically change a few of the aspects of the weapon. You can make the Bronco a full-on sniper with the long barrel and grips for, you know, damage and accuracy or stability. And you can even equip a giant-ass scope if you wanted to. You can also go the other direction and make yourself a snub-nosed Bronco with maximum concealment, a whopping 33 concealment, one of the best in the whole game. And it goes without saying that you can also make a balanced Bronco as well, one made to have the best of both worlds. With the Castigo, it doesn't really have very many mods that it can take, as shown earlier, but as it currently is, it falls under the balanced version of the Bronco. You know, it's not really super accurate, super stable, super high concealment. It's kind of in the middle of all these things. In my opinion, though, the Castigo's version of a balanced revolver is much better than the Bronco's version, starting at a base of 28 concealment, and mods that add accuracy and stability with literally no downsides at all. On top of the weapon boost that you can put, like concealment, accuracy, stability, what ends up is a weapon that has better stats than the Bronco if you were trying to mod it for the same purpose. So while the Castigo lacks the extremes that the Bronco can fulfill, for a more balanced gun, the Castigo is definitely the way to go. And, you know, the other thing that makes the Castigo better than the Bronco is that the Castigo looks way better than the Bronco. The Bronco looks like an airsoft gun you fished out of a janky Toys R Us. It's just not really appealing at all. And for that reason, I'm also using the Castigo unmodded, because the mods, I like the look of it without them. But, you know, that's just how I feel comparing the Bronco and the Castigo. I feel like most people prefer the Castigo over the Bronco, stat-wise. Now let's talk about the Akimbo version, which is probably what most people here are actually interested in. Honestly, as cool as it is that we have Akimbo revolvers now, I don't really like them. Pretty much for the same reasons that I predicted I wouldn't like them when things like the Peacemaker or the Judge came out, you know? A lot of people speculated, oh, when are we gonna get some Akimbo shotguns or revolvers or something? There's not really many reasons to have 2 revolvers over 1, you know? 1 is already really efficient. It has more than enough damage to take care of enemies relatively quickly, and with a pretty fast reload too, there isn't a lot of downtime with the weapon. You know, Akimbos for things like the M9s or the Glocks, they're perfect since they're weaker weapons, and having 2 of them and being a bit more spammy with them is completely fine. Hell, even with the 80 damage pistols like the 1911, the Contractors, those ones, they're pretty decent in Akimbo form. With the revolvers though, I don't know, for me it just seems like it's a waste of a lot of shots, you know? A shot or 2 will stagger an enemy sometimes, so the subsequent shot from the second gun tends to miss or tends to hit their armor or something. And since you don't need that many shots to kill an enemy, you'll often find yourself wasting an extra shot on someone you already killed. You know, shoot someone, kill them with 1 bullet, second bullet goes, oh, he's already dead. Well, it's a waste. So the 2 things I mentioned, they're pretty annoying, but they're not really a huge problem. It's mostly just things that I notice that happens to me a lot, and I get pretty slightly ticked off. But I think the biggest reason why I don't like the Akimbo revolvers is not really because of the weapon itself, but mostly how this game handles Akimbos. For every click of the mouse, or press of the trigger, or whatever the heck you're using, you shoot 2 shots. You know, you don't shoot 1, you shoot 2. And I don't know why Overkill decided that this was the best way to handle Akimbo weapons, but for whatever reason, that's just how it is. And it's not really that great, at least for me. Like I said earlier, it gives way to the wasted shot scenario, and in particular, it's also really frustrating for the Akimbo Castigos because they have a small capacity relative to other weapons. You know, they only have 6 shots each. And what I mean by that is, you know, you only have 6 shots before you need to reload, and one of the appeals of using double weapons is double the firepower, double the capacity. But if every time you click the button, it shoots 2 shots, it doesn't really feel like double the capacity. It feels like you're shooting just 1 shot. You know, of course, it is double the power, but it just feels like you're wasting it a lot of the times. It just doesn't really feel efficient, you know? That's not to say that they're bad weapons. On 1 down, they're definitely useful in a myriad of ways, but with the ability to shred specials super fast, and it also has decent ammo pickup for relatively good self-sustainability. But personally, I can't really seem to like the Akimbos that much. You know, if they were handled in a different way where 1 click is 1 shot instead of 2, or maybe, you know, left mouse button is for the left gun, right mouse button for the right gun, something like that, that would have been fine as well. But as it is, I don't really like it, and I probably won't use it too much in the future. For the single variant though, I really love it, and it's definitely going to replace the Bronco for me. Which in itself is a little sad because the other revolvers like the Mateba and the Peacemaker, there's still, well, there's really no reason to use that when there's the Bronco around, so that's kind of sad. Now the Castigo just kind of takes over. But what can you do? What can you do?